So welcome to another video, guys. I'm going to make a part 3 of this video because I don't think many actually do a video about this. I did a packing video before a trip or a hike and did the actually video from the trip, and then an after video as well, because I think this is important, because it's here you actually learn what did make a job for you, what didn't. I'm kind of an experienced guy. I've been in the army and outdoors almost all my life, so I almost knew that this is going to be things I will need, and all in all, yeah, you actually did. There are a couple of items of all of this gear that I actually didn't use or that I will change. So let's start with that. The item that we didn't use was the oven. This is a titanium oven. I recently told you I'm only going to bring it with me just to show my stepfather how easy it is and how the technology has changed to make an oven. But the weather actually shows like 16 Celsius degrees. It was very warm all the time, though we have both sun and rain, and it was a bit chilly sometimes, but not enough to make actually put the oven. So we didn't actually need that, and it was a bit, it takes a little bit of space. It doesn't weigh too much, but you know, some grams here and there actually make a lot of weight. The other item that I also previously mentioned is my biggest hiking pack. That is the 120 liters, very big pack I use in the army as an instructor and outdoors and in Nijmegen. Serves me very well all the time, but it's way too heavy. I think it weighs like 1.8 kilos on its own. It's Cordura, and it's very reliable, it's very practical in many ways, but it's just a bit too heavy, and when it starts to rain it also gets heavier, and it surely did. I told you that my shoes that is now downstairs with the soles and these socks from Super, it always saved me, because knowing that I'm going to have a pretty heavy backpack, I always need to rely on my feet, and this will change to a smaller and lighter variant. I'm actually now signing the paper to be actually I'm an influencer for Hyperlight, so I'm probably gonna get a Hyperlight backpacking that is made from Dyneema instead. So those are the things I will probably change. Now, because my stepfather isn't used to go outdoors so much, and I have my kid, 8 years old kid, you never know what he's going to pack, and you never know what they are going to use. So there are some things that he bring of that could be a big better pack. So we did bring a lot of food for this trip, but we actually eat it all the way. Though we had like things like dry milk that was supposed to get in a smaller compartment. You see. The dry milk was supposed to be inside here, so I can put a bit on the coffee or on the cornflakes, like a little spoon. But we actually took the whole stuff with us, and he bring like 2 beers for me one day and 2 beers for him, plus 2 things, 2 beers too. So that's a lot of liters to actually bring. And was my mother that actually bought the food, and she bring like granola, and I bring the other cereals just as and it was a bit too much to bring, but we actually eat all of the food all the way. But the food is a very, very big thing, so it could be planned a bit better when we actually met together to figure things out a bit. But let's go over quick. So we changed it. This was a plan C, a total new place, and I had, when I was packing out inside the bag, and especially my sleeping bags for my kid that is a 3-season, very big. I actually need to move away the lavabo that I was originally planned, and knowing that it's going to rain, and knowing we were probably going to meet a lot of people, then I wasn't too sure about the lavabo. Also, the fact that my stepfather and kid also snore a bit when they are sleeping, especially my kid because he's allergic. They like to talk, where I like to actually step back to sleep, have a good night's sleep. So I actually bring the lavabo away, and I bring the hammock for me, and I bring the VVAC for those to sleep. And that was a very good choice actually, because it wasn't, though both are not freestanding, it's a bit more flexible than the lavabo to sit up here and there. And especially the second place, it was a bit short on space, and it was a lot of people everywhere, camping everywhere. And if we have a lavabo, we probably have a big problem, and we need to search for a place to be. So the hammock d'amore, that is quite heavy in its own. I think they have a ultralight version now. It's probably the way to go. I only sleep in this hammock or the Nord-tent, because the Nord-tent on tents and the hammock on hammocks is the only thing that I sleep on, because they are very practical, very lightweight normally, and most of our luxurious outdoor stuff that is very important if you want to sleep well. My sleeping bags. My stepfather actually used the sleeping pad that I had on high school. I'm going to show you another time, but it's very thin, very, very bad. And I remember most of the time in high school and in the army sleeping in the foam pad. I cannot go back to that. I need to have some luxurious pad. Although if I'm not doing a survival video, I'm surely gonna bring a inflatable sleeping pad, because this is a must-have. The hammock, ultra light new version of Fjord. It was very good, very easy to pack, very small. It's not as good, as comfortable as the white Fjord, but this is the way to go. And in here I can actually bring the shower that I didn't use, by the way. Very easily to put in here. I'm going to pack this a bit better so it doesn't take too much space next time. My son sleep on the Turmerist, and for that we didn't need the oven as well. So he sleep very well in the Turmerist. And for blowing this up, though it has a high speed valve, we use the pump. And we use the pump on both the pack rafting and the sleeping pads, and it saves you a lot of time. So that these are a must-have and serve us very well. Since we didn't use the oven, I bring the pad to blow things up the bonfire, and it served me a lot of time this time as well. Very good to have. It might look like garbage, but it's very usable tool. Because my stepfather took it up and this, you want to keep it or not? Yes, I use it all the time. And he kind of laughed, but this is the way to start a fire very quick, especially if you do another stuff and you go away from the fire and it's almost died. This is the way to go. And the fire is ready. The Primus. The Primus is a gas stove, very simple. It's a bit big, I know, but it's very big, then it kind of boils the water very quickly. We use this a lot of time as well as the bonfire to make food. And the good thing about this is when you boil water, it doesn't get messy. So it's a very good combination, and we have a lot of gas left, so we could probably bring a little less stove because this takes space. Okay, food thing. All of this stuff we used. One for my father, one for me, and the one for my kid I also used to cut things up sometimes. I know that my father probably wouldn't have, so it was good to actually use the same stuff to actually have some place to eat. The eggs, we forgot to put it in here, but after a while we actually put it in here. It saves your day, doesn't get messy inside the pack. My father didn't have a cup to drink, so we mostly use this for him, and we can pack it all of those in here as well. So that's a very good thing. Here in here go the washing. Let me see the washing stuff there. This to wash yourself and wash the dishes so it doesn't get messy. Goes very easily in here. I always take it out so I can clean it at home and take away the debris. Can wash yourself and the dishes with it, doesn't take any space. You can put it inside here or another place. Put the lid on as well. There, and there is the little salo for washing all of this inside. Put it in there, and it on its own, so it doesn't lose at all. We use it all the time, and we boil some water for both coffee, cacao, and drinking water all the time. Though we drink more water than normally, so from here. My father and we put this inside the fire as well. My father and son drink from here, and the way I do that, I put the Katadine bottle. Let me see, where did I put that now? Anyway. The Katadine bottle filters the water, and you can filter it down here. In here now you can drink from the same water otherwise, but you don't want diarrhea anyway, so it's a good, if you have the choice, filter it very quickly or boil it so you have drinking water. The Katadine bottle I did forget in the first place I got back. This is a very popular, very expensive piece of gear to only be a water bottle, but it's super practical because you can pack it, it's very solid, it filters the water, it doesn't take any space, so it's a superb piece of gear. But I actually need to go back and get it. So I use my watch and put the return and paddle back to the place I was, and happily I find it again. So that's why the watch got used, like also for getting the temperature, the measuring, the route, and the water bottle all the time. Pillows. I have the choice of the ultralight. This is my son. He was using this, and I have the new Turmerist outdoors pillow. I really like it because of the moons, for sure, and you can pack it half the size, and this is the extra large, and it gets very comfortable. This is also comfortable, but not as much as a regular pillow. So here you actually need to, it doesn't weigh nothing. Both of them are very, very light. This is though way more packable. So this is a choice that you have to make when you are outdoors. You want to be more comfortable, or you want to be very ultralight. But if you want to have a new energy when you wake up in the morning on a tiring day after a hike or paddling, you probably have to have a very good sleeping pad, a very good sleeping bag or quilt, and a pillow in order to sleep well and gain some energy. So I would really recommend this pillow. It was a fantastic pillow to have. Must have for sure, and surely this is as well. Okay, the quilt is packed in here. I told you before, this is a must-have. This is a custom quilt from the quilt. This is unlike the sleeping pad. It's half the size. You can. It has its own protection for foot here. You can tie it together to a mummy bag if needed. This is super light quilt. This is super comfortable. Very good if you are in the middle of emergency. You can turn it out and use it to gain attention more. If you don't want attention, you use the camouflages part. Must have. It did get wet a bit, and that is a thing you have to avoid. So instead of using the normal stuff sack for it, use a waterproof compressible from sea to summit. This is a must have. If this gets wet, you probably have a bad time outdoors. Because it was raining, and I changed the down jacket to a Primaloft, so it kept me warm. It was just what I needed for 15 degrees, neither the less or neither the more. Helt okay. Coffee. This is a bit heavy, the coffee stuff. We did use it once though, but I bring it because I knew we didn't have too much coffee. So I need to use a bit of my beans at home, coffee beans, to grind it and make it some coffee. So we did make a couple of cup coffee, and the other one was for instant. So that could probably go away and go for the Starbucks Via coffee that I recommended before, because those are okay to be outdoors. Oh, actually they are more than okay to be outdoors. This, the sail packet serves us well. I tried the sail once, but this I couldn't make it to work because it wasn't very windy. It's a bit of a hassle when you deployed it as well. But I did try it. It could be very usable when you are pack rafting. Otherwise, not very important. But it was nice to try anyway. Okay, so the oven weighs a bit, packs very small. It got used for the pizza, 2 of those. The first one came out very well, but soon after it started to rain, and it was impossible to get the bonfire as hard and warm as the first time. So the first pizza got very good, and we had to actually make a calzone using this as a lid to make a second pizza. It was okay, and we tried to cook some food from it. It actually sometimes it does the work, sometimes other times don't, due to the fire. My fishing rod is too big for this. I found out as soon as I put the rod on top, it couldn't fit, so this was a bit of dead weight to actually bring. The side of the here you have for you can actually put the rod here if you have like a camel water stuff. You can the camelback. You put the rod in there to make it stay, and it did the work. So we probably don't use another thing. My kid used this hat, me and myself, in Norway. Insects can drop on your head, and it's called flot. I think it's ticks, and you can actually get sick on ticks. And it happened to a very known outdoorsman that he calls Lars Monsen. He couldn't go from his house like a year. He got very ill from that, and we try to prevent the ticks because we are not vaccinated against it, protecting your head. So it's not only for the sun, it's only to just avoid getting too much stuff on your head or wet. So it's good to actually have some protection. We lost one lure for the fishing gear. I did try some of this stuff. Some of those, like this smaller variant, didn't work as well. It was a bit too small. It didn't sink to the bottom. So but I did try to fish a lot there. We forgot the worms at the car, so that was a bit dead weight to bring. The repair kit from the Packraft, we didn't have to use it. Thanks a lot, so thanks for that. This fishing vest, fantastic, because this gives me support when I'm paddling, and it serves like a very good seat. My stepfather bring these diving gloves with me. I tried this when paddling, but it's not as good as this one. This has a bit more firm support handling grip. But these get wet, and when it gets wet, they aren't as comfortable. So these are mostly only used to protect a bit my hands for getting blisters, but these are my hiking and hunting gloves. The bivouac is drying outside actually. You can see it here. It's normally when I do the bivouac is drying outside there. You see the warm lamp there. And it's good to dry things up before you pack it down again, and make sure the cores are packed like this, not like this, so you don't use the time the next time doing stuff that you really don't want to use your time on. Let me see. Mosquito wise, it was mosquito in the area. I'm very glad we took the inner tent for the bivouac outside. So it provides you with a footprint when it's wet and some protection against the mosquito. That is good to have as well. The echolot, the chirp, it saves us a lot of time because of this. Because the moment I was put it on the water, attached to the Packraft, it showed me how much fish there are in the area. And it wasn't too much, and that was a good thing, because then I don't have to spend hours fishing when I know there aren't many fishes there. Though we got a pike otherwise, and that was very good, and was the only fish we got on the trip. So this actually saved me for a lot of time, and it's very easy to bring as well. Very, very good tool. Peak Design tripod, very lightweight, very practical, the best tripod I ever tried. Very small. When you pack small, it goes to this. It can fit very easily inside the pack. Superb tripod. Is the one the camera is standing right now. As a YouTuber, outdoors YouTuber, I like to film a lot. you're normally going to bring something, a camera bag or something that you have your camera stuff in. For this trip I bring the drone camera bag. Inside here I have the GoPro. The drone itself, that is a bit heavy, but it's a superb tool to actually film. I actually prefer this way more than the Spark that I have. Very, very good. You could probably get the same result with the Air 2 or something in this, but I have the certification anyway, and it's a zoom camera. So because I'm not allowed to film in closer than some meters to people now, though I have the certification for the closest ranges, I can actually use the zoom to the lens of the camera to zoom in close enough to people, and the drone being a good while, and it gets very stable, very good looking stuff. And the good thing about this is also that the fly mower comes with an adapter that looks like this. It has 2 USB, and if you put this here and you push the battery for like 3 seconds or so, and you push the cable, you can actually charge your phone and stuff. And I actually charged the phone and I think it was the GoPro with this on the field. So I bring one battery for the drone and one spare only to use as a power bank. So it's perfect. So you can actually compress this to this side, and the camera actually fits in here without the objective. You can put the objective on top and you can close it, and this is mostly water resistant, I believe. So, but you also want like a several protection, so I did use this to put it in series, especially when it was raining. I put this inside there, and it did the job. This nylon stuff is good, but I will be changing this to Dyneema because I think Dyneema is a bit more better in order to be packing stuff up. This has a hole. I think Dyneema is a bit more robust, so we're going to exchange this to some pots, and they are from Dyneema. This is a little bit of a hassle. We did use it once because this is multi-purpose. This has a weight on it, so we can measure the fish, because when you have a fishing license you actually need to be aware how big the fish is, because you might need to throw back in the water. We did that with the pack actually. We kind of regret that though. So this has a cover, but you need to pack it in there anyway, and we did use it once as well, so good to have. The eggs, nice. The Packraft, both Packraft are the big one is packed now downstairs, so this is ready to go. This one I need to wash still, but it's still raining outside. Need to wash with some soap, disinfect it as well, and pack it a bit better and put it in the big red bag that I have to storage for the next trip. I think the next time we're going to use this on salt water actually. But this is a very, very good Packraft compared to all of the Packrafts that I've seen. I really like the Cocopelli. You could probably use a bit lighter variants than the Packraft. But this is just what I have, so it's good to have. It's doing the job fabulously. I really like those. The straps, I'm using Lars Monsen. 2 of those for mine, and using the Packraft Norge strap for the other one that has like a bungee cord, and then you use this as well. Both are doing a very good job. Couple of very simple straps compared to the Expedition where I have a lot of big ones. Only need very good small ones that are supposed to be used for the packraft. So I could really recommend smaller variants that are this big, like the Lars Monsen. This is one of the best straps I have actually used for the packraft. This anchor, very good, surprised me. I forgot to film while I was using it because it was raining. You put a stone in here, you attach it to the packraft, you throw it down, very easy to throw and put up again. The boats actually stands really still. Very nice tool, very lightweight, very good to have. Little axe and the silky saw. My kid actually took this and started to use it without sawing. So you need to be very careful. Thankfully he didn't hurt himself because this is very sharp. But we actually made a bonfire 3 times with this, so it was very much in use, very sharp. Need to throw away the debris and make it sharp again, so it's ready for next trip. And I think the last things that are here is mostly my kid's backpack. It's a bit dirty from the trip, but he was able to carry his things. We have like his light in here that he actually used. I didn't use the headlight at all, but he used inside the tent. He has his knife, his Leatherman that he used a lot. His jacket was a down jacket that should have been a rain jacket instead because it was raining quite a lot. But he actually sat inside the tarp anyway, so it was not of a problem really. He had a couple of games. We were too tired to actually play with him, but we did a lot of other things anyway. So I think that's it, guys. So I think I have proven that we actually used all of the thing. I think perhaps 98% of all of the stuff that I packed. It may look like a lot, but it's really things you really need to have a nice time, depending on how the trip is going to be. If you're going to be camping with your family and you want to be flexible at the same time and make some paddling miles, this is the perfect stuff to have. If you want to be only backpacking and do a lot of miles on your foot, you're probably not going to bring all of these things. So it depends really on what kind of the trip you are doing. And I could really do a very more lightweight trip or paddling trip, base camp trip, depending on what gear. So this is a must-have gear actually to have a nice time. Other than that, I think I have covered it all. I think you might reflect a bit about this stuff, and I will see you soon. I think the next video is going to be a music video or music concert in this channel. So I hope you get inspired. I hope you get some ideas, and see you soon.